Hey, on my way to the gym before I get my day started. Finishing up a deck today, getting all the old work done, which is great. July was a tough month physically, but fairly profitable, so that's been really good. But I wanted to do a real quick video. I made a post on my Instagram a little bit ago, and I finished my day early, had a good day money wise, and got home around like 2:30, maybe 3. Lit up a stogie and had myself a drink. And somebody responded, and he wasn't being malicious, but he said, "Wow, must be nice." And I responded, "It is, and if you do what others won't do or can't do, you can make your own hours and live your own, time frame," which is 100% true. But it made me think, though, about sort of our nation now and what a lot of workers are demanding of their employers. That's really sort of ridiculous. So when you want to do what everyone else does, I talked about this before. If you have a choice between being different or doing exactly what everyone else in your business or industry does, to always choose to be different, because although the margin for error is much greater when you do your own thing and you're different, the margin of success is much, much higher. Whereas if you do what everyone else does, your margin of success and error both are much, much lower. The rewards that you could achieve are nowhere near as vast as they are if you do your own thing, brand yourself in a unique way, etc. That truth, it manifests itself in other aspects of life as well. So if you're someone who you want to work when you want to work, you want to make the money that you want to make, you want to do what you want to do, none of those things are bad. In fact, they're all really good. However, we have to, it's increasingly becoming harder and harder for some people to be this way. We have to be logical, though, about what we can have as concerning the position we're in. If you work for somebody, if you are somebody's servant, please understand, there will always be a master and a servant. There will always be a master and a servant. That will never not be the case. And there's different masters and different servants at different levels. There's different tops. I know people who make a lot of money but are nowhere near a management position within their company, but they make more than some managers at other companies. So there's different levels. It's overly simplistic to talk about a ruling class or a wealthy class versus everyone else. It's wildly overly simplistic and actually very stupid. One of the wealthiest guys I know was an iron worker who worked his way up to being a supervisor, and he's now a millionaire. And I think the most money he ever made in a year was about $95,000, which is great earnings. But again, there's different tops, there's different levels. My point is this. It's important to understand, you cannot demand or hope to achieve the lifestyle that I have, where if I go out and make $400 in 2 hours and I say, well, I'm good for the day, I'm going to go home, I'll book work tomorrow. You can't hope to achieve that or have that if you are working for someone in a direct capacity where you have to be at a specific location every day for X amount of hours from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6, whatever that is. It's impossible. And if you think you can and demand that, you are being selfish and moronic, because you are not in charge. You are not the owner. You have none of the stress of the ownership class. You have none of the responsibilities, so therefore you get none of the privileges. And those privileges are, hey man, I'm beat, I'm going to go home and take a nap. That is the reality of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually just. And if you want those privileges, if you want the ownership class, you should, my example, which is kind of very specific, go buy a trailer. Go buy all the tools you need to start cleaning gutters, start doing things so you can be the owner. Again, I'm at the top of my game in the handyman arena concerning business. I need to get much better concerning skills, acquire skills. I'd love to learn to do masonry. I'd love to learn to do other things, because you can really start printing money when you do bigger work. But in the industry of, I'm equal to position-wise and privileges-wise. This sounds kind of crazy, but concerning privileges and stress and sort of the business aspect of it, I'm equal to any CEO that you can think of. Now, I'm not equal to them concerning wealth or probably intelligence or business acumen, but as far as the caste that we're in, the class that we're a part of, I'm the same as them, even though I'm just some dumb shit handyman from the heartland. So it's important to understand that, because people, when you don't, Sun Tzu said this, when you know yourself and you know your enemy, you need not fear the outcome of 100 battles. If you know yourself but know not your enemy, for every victory gained, you'll suffer defeat. If you don't know yourself and you don't know your enemy, you will succumb at every engagement. A lot of people these days don't know themselves, and they believe that they should be treated as, they believe that they should be treated like an owner or like a partner or like, a member of the investor class. And you're not. If you're going to be someone who works a 9 to 5 for someone, you're under them, you have to do what they say, because at the end of the day, that's your job description. When I worked at that last company I worked at, my job description wasn't actually customer service. My job was whatever my boss told me to do, obviously, as long as it wasn't illegal and wasn't unjust. The point is, if you want to have that lifestyle, man, it must be nice, 2:30, having a double, smoking a cigar, which is fantastic. It's really quite wonderful. You have to take that step, and to demand that you have those same privileges with none of the responsibility and none of the work is absolutely moronic, and ultimately it's selfish. And I was just thinking about, and I'm not saying this to like trash anybody or the guy that was talking to me. It's to put into perspective. The work I do isn't privilege. I just finished up that hoarder farmhouse that was disgusting with cat poop and everything. Just finished up today. It was fantastic. It was one of the reasons why this month was so hard. I am privileged in that I am the owner of this business. The work I do is not privileged. The work I do is nowhere near. I talked to a kid the other day who's going to be an orthopedic surgeon. That's privileged work. He's also going to be privileged concerning income as well. But the work I do is not privileged. The work I do is not vaunted. It's if I said that right, it just needs to be done. But I have the privilege of being the owner, and to have that privilege, to have those benefits, I've made that sacrifice. So, again, not talking shit about anyone, just trying to bring it into focus. If you want the privileges and the benefits of the owner class, of the management class, position, whatever you want to say, you have to take that step and do that. If you've liked the content, like, share, subscribe. If you've hated it, send it to someone you hate.